All right, right now, tens of thousands of fans have packed MetLife Stadium, the home of the FIFA World Cup final. And among them, at least one special guest, President Trump, is there in attendance where defending World Cup champion Argentina will face off against Spain in a battle for the world title, all while the war with Iran that continues to escalate after the death of 2 American troops at the hand of Iranian strikes on Jordan. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt is live outside the White House with more. Hannah, the president has a lot going on today. How is he juggling the World Cup duties that he's there at the World Cup right now amid these escalations with Iran?
Alicia, that's absolutely right. And just into our newsroom moments ago, CENTCOM announcing they have found the remains of one, in their words, unidentified person. They say they had searched through the rubble of that Friday attack that we know killed 2 U.S. service members and had left another missing in action. So CENTCOM saying at this point they have not positively identified those remains, but at least one additional death in that attack. And they've also just announced they've found the remains of another service member killed yesterday in attacks in Iraq as well. So that just adding to the total number of service members who've been killed in the days of back and forth strikes that we've seen. But as you mentioned, President Trump really splitting his focus. Right now, he is at the World Cup match there at this final, and he is preparing to present the trophy to the winner. Whether that's Argentina or Spain really remains to be seen. That match just getting underway minutes ago. But President Trump, we know he's been a very enthusiastic host of this World Cup tournament. He's already touting it all as a massive success for the United States, generating tons of revenue for cities where these games were played, allowing international fans to discover and appreciate American culture. But we do want to go back to that conflict with Iran because, of course, that is taking a lot of the focus of the globe right now. The president is really grappling with the global tension that this renewed fighting is creating at this point, because both sides, the U.S. and Iran, have essentially said that memorandum of understanding that led to a fragile ceasefire is now over. The fighting seems only to be intensifying at this point. Last night, what we saw was a new round of U.S. strikes on Iran. It's the 8th night in a row of such attacks, and CENTCOM says this latest wave was in part a retaliation for those Iranian attacks that killed those 2 American service members in Jordan on Friday, and as I said, led to a 3rd death as well, someone who has yet to be identified. And then that attack yesterday with that U.S. service member killed in northern Iraq as well. And so what U.S. forces say is this attack was also designed to degrade Iran's hold on the Strait of Hormuz. That continues to be a major pain point and a subject of deep disagreement among American leaders. Take a listen to what we're hearing back here at home about this.
I see no path in the short term how the strait is going to be settled. This war of choice has been a disaster. It has been a disaster militarily. It has been a disaster in terms of how we're viewed around the world. It has been a disaster to our friends and the allies who question whether we will keep our promises.
Now what we're doing is assuring that oil and gas and other products can flow through the Strait of Hormuz with or without Iranian cooperation. And we've continued to degrade their offensive military capabilities. The president is always looking for the diplomatic off-ramp. President Trump wants to end it with a peaceful agreement with Iran, but it takes 2 parties to do that. If they're ready to do that, that's the way it'll end.
And Iran is targeting U.S. allied countries in strikes of its own, with Kuwait, Jordan, and Bahrain, and of course Iraq, all facing those incoming missile and drone strikes. Some of them, as we've mentioned, have been deadly, Alicia.
Hannah, thank you for bringing us that breaking news. It seems like the death toll there in Jordan upped to 3 potential service members. I know we don't have the identity of the service member, but that is something I'm sure they're working on right now. Hannah Brandt live for us at the White House.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.